So everywhere I go, Susan, there is somebody that I have to talk to in a city, sometimes two. You're the one I have to talk to in Victoria.
Fantastic.
High five.
High five. Yeah, thanks, Michael.
So the bicycle mayor of Victoria. Tell me, what's the state of the nation here in Victoria for cycling?
Yeah, so the way cycling is here is we have a mayor who's actually doing a really great job of introducing cycling, protected cycling tracks in Victoria, and it feels good. I feel safe. They're a little small. They're not actually, as big as they are, cycling in the Netherlands, but we're doing a great job and we're starting, and I'd like to see more in the city centre, but we're doing a good job, I think.
You think so?
Well, yeah, for our standards. For European standards, no. We have way to go. They end, the bicycle lanes end, and then there's painted lines, and that provides, like on this road right here, going over the bridge, painted line. Yeah. There's no protection. I'd like to see more protection. I'd like to see traffic calming measures. I'd like people to understand that that's not a safe way to be in traffic.
Right.
Like, we cyclists deserve the same protection and safety that people driving cars have.
Now, I've seen, walking around Victoria today, I've seen some kind of cool stuff. I hear a lot of hype about cities. Oh my God, we're doing so, and if you live in a city, you're thinking like, oh my God, there's a bike lane. We're doing amazing stuff. Yeah. I have a grain of salt knowing what I know around the world, but I've seen some really kind of interesting protected intersections for bikes on the way, under construction. Yeah. Outside of my hotel, the Doubletree Hilton, they're making like a pedestrian street, and there's a bike lane coming in, cycle track. Yeah. I mean, so I'm going, whoa, that was my first impression. It's still stupid bi-directional, but I'm thinking there's actually municipal money being put into hard bicycle infrastructure.
That's right.
Is that a new thing, or has that been going on for a while?
Oh, it's been going on for 3 to 4 years now. The next phase after Humboldt will be Vancouver, and I'm really looking forward to that because that's a north-south line, really important for the city. And then there's connectors to that from the east and west, except we need more in the city center. So that's really important to actually get those connectors happening and do some quick wins. Like we can start using bullards and save some cash and do extra. Mm-hmm. So I think and I hope that when they do Vancouver Street that they're doing some of those things.
Now you were telling me earlier that when you ride to where you need to go, you feel safe and it's mostly protected bicycle infrastructure. But me walking around the city center with my kids today, I've been going, nothing. Oh, there's a bike lane. It's that typical North American thing where we'll designate one road because, too much is, going to be crazy. So, I mean, is there a network in Victoria is the question.
Well, that is a good question. They're saying that when they finish Vancouver that is the network.
Oh, then they're done and they just go home, or what?
Well, I hope not. I think Mayor Helps understands that more needs to occur, and I would like to think that they will do more. And as each new cycle track gets put in, they do a little bit better. They use a little less cement, because it's not always necessary. And they're Vancouver, there'll be traffic calming and diversion and. But more needs to happen, and I think it could happen faster.
We know it can happen faster because it's happening faster all over the world.
All over the world.
Oh my God! Right? Even
Calgary.
Calgary.
Perfect example of doing something overnight. Saving money. Yeah.
So where are we right now, Susan? Tell me what this location is.
Yeah, we're on the pedestrian shared path with cyclists on the Johnson Street Bridge. And what I like about this is that I can actually ride my bike here and I can connect to 2 different cycle lanes now. I can go onto Wharf Street or I can go east onto Pandora, and that'll connect me to a couple other bike lanes. I do have to meander off the path to get to where I want to go, but I'm happy with the infrastructure in terms of the protection that it gives me.
But I've been sitting at a bar, as is my way, with my kids. They were drinking Coca-Cola. But I'm trying to figure out, I was trying to figure out this intersection because a lot of bikes are coming up the road here, where I think whoever designed this very, very badly, probably not a European company.
No. It's not.
Are trying to send people up this unmarked pathway.
right.
It's a
Yeah.
brand new thing.
Yeah.
But you have people like this dude,
Yeah.
you know, they're just coming up the road. Like it's just not intuitive. And
It's
if you're
not.
trying to do something new and try to make the city bicycle friendly, I don't know who designed this, but this is incredibly bad. Oh my God.
I have to say that it is actually difficult. And each time they do a new lane, they have education programs, and that doesn't help the tourists, right? It just helps the morning people on their commute to work. And I honestly, as much as I think they're doing great leaps in protecting cyclists, if you have to explain it, it isn't done right.
Exactly.
So that's my 2 cents.
But your 2 cents are just basic design, like intelligence.
I know.
If you have to explain to somebody how to use a design, it's bad design. And we've seen signs along the way here saying this is a new shared space. Like they're actually, you know, and people are just not even doing it, right?
Yeah. So I think they're trying to pander to driving, to people who drive more than they should. Right. We really need to like wake up, and I think our mayor is at that place. But I don't know that she's actually getting all those messages. And someone almost got hit by a car right here.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. See, but then there's that perception, right? Because I'm looking at he's fine.
He was fine, but
the
at
motorist
that
was also.
second,
Okay.
So what is happening is that people aren't expecting cyclists to come from that lane,
No.
and I'm not 100% sure that it was built for that, because there isn't they're using green paint as shared space with cars.
Yeah.
It's really conflict zone. And they don't have that green paint, and cyclists are coming from a direction that I don't think the city expected.
No, I mean, I was
so
sitting.
These are desire lines, right?
Absolutely, I was sitting at my vantage point, which at the bar was a bit far away, and I saw these cyclists rolling up here, and I couldn't figure out what they were doing until I came closer. And the city has a painted lane, and you know it's mostly the spandexy kind of types that are, I'm going to do it, I got to get home, and then the sort of the more regular everyday cyclists are taking this shared path here, right?
Yeah, there's a mixed bag. You can see from the people coming, they're not spandex clad.
No. Oh, there's still a bike lane out there.
That is a painted line for the bicycles.
What do you do? Do you do this or you do that, or why do you do both? That's not you, obviously, but
I get it. So what I understand is that people don't understand how dangerous it is to cycle beside a car going 50 kilometers an hour.
Mm-hmm.
A painted line provides no security and no safety, and you can't trust that the person coming up behind you is actually paying attention. And so for myself, because I know that, I go out of my way to go into bike lanes and slow streets because I want to keep myself safe, and that's how I do it.
Yeah.
You know, I avoid traffic at all costs.
And I mean,
I'm a good rider.
Yeah.
I'm a confident rider, but I won't do it. There's no point.
I can do it. I just never want to.
No.
God, man, you just gotta you just got, you gotta like look around the whole time.
I'd rather. It's not comfortable. There's no yawning when you're in traffic, right?
Exactly.
There's
no
yawning.
But you might see yawning over their shared space.
Yeah, I yawn over here.
Yeah.
This is where I yawn.
Okay, so you're the bicycle mayor. You're part of this network of how many cities?
There's 50 of us.
50 cities around the world with a bicycle mayor.
There's a lot in India.
A lot in India. Okay, all right. Kind of explosive statistic, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you, as I know so much about what needs to be done, infrastructure-wise, safety-wise, and everything. You're incredibly well-versed. As one of the primary bicycle advocates, really in the world and definitely in this country. But so you made a couple of comments in the local press about helmets, and you don't usually wear a helmet when you're here, even though it's the law in this province, sadly.
Yes, that's
What
correct.
kind of, you've got so much pushback for that. Can you tell me about that?
It's crazy. I've received death threats. I have people.
Get out. Death threats?
Yes, I have received death threats over Facebook. Facebook removes them fairly quickly, which is nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Facebook.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, right? I have people chasing me in the street saying bicycle mayor, and then they spew out what they feel they need to say. I don't wear my helmet to cause controversy, or not wear a helmet to cause controversy. I don't wear one because it is not what keeps us safe, right? It's infrastructure and separation from traffic. And that's what I think people are completely missing the point. This morning I was on Government Street with a semi-truck. They can't see the space around them. I don't want like I don't even know how heavy these vehicles are, but I don't want to be run over by one.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that that's not okay.
Yeah.
We should not accept that. And the helmet is not where we need to put our time and energy. It is in protection of people.
Now, Chris Boardman, former world championship cyclist, one of the
Yes,
primary
I know.
advocates of cycling in the UK now, he says the helmets aren't even in the top 10 of things we should be talking about to keep cyclists
I know.
safe, right?
It's like a non-discussion.
But here it's kind of hijacked. One comment or two comments from you hijacked the entire thing that you're doing,
My
which is
whole Bicycle Mayor program, that's right.
Yeah.
And it's sad
Yeah.
because there's so much work that can be done. I would love to work some more with Mayor Helps. Like she is doing so much for the city. And I just want to work some more and connect with her some more on how we can actually bring safety into our streets.
Yeah.
That's what I care about, safety.
Absolutely. I mean, and quality of life
Quality
and
of
public
life,
health.
community,
and,
right? Like what happens to a society when you actually can start seeing people in the street and connecting with them? You know, it brings safety, it brings security, it brings happiness. You know, all of those great
Sorry,
qualities.
you got to just spin over around there. Look at that.
She's busy.
That's like Amsterdam/Copenhagen right there.
totally was.
Just like, dude, how many times have I done that? Just like, schlep some huge
I-
box home.
I
I'm not
know.
even riding my bike. I'm just going, my bike is my tool, right? Anyway.
I know, I've had a 30-pound bag of dog food on the back of my bike.
There you go. We did not hire her to walk past at that point, I'd just like to say, for the purpose of this film.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you mentioned Government Street. This is a very iconic street in
It is.
Victoria.
Shopping district.
Shopping district. We know around the world now that maybe not enough, but many, many business associations and shopkeepers understand that if you remove the car parking, you're going to create more business. We have so much data that shows that their profits are going to go up between 30 and 50%. What's it like here on Government Street?
Yeah, it's like
Whiners?
bizarro world.
Bizarro world.
Totally. So they just think that if they stop traffic from coming on Government Street, they're going to lose their business. They're going to have to shut down.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that is the most absurd thing I have ever heard.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the Wharf Street opening up like less than a week ago. All the people I see on bikes, and it's increased because they're not diverting from Pandora. There's just as many people coming from Pandora Street. There's more people. There's totally more people. I'm gonna have to do that bike count and see what happens.
You do, like seriously, it's a great app. It's Counterpoint.
I'm gonna totally do that one day.
Data is king. Data changes
It
conversations.
Is king.
Yeah.
And so I think we're pandering too much.
Or queen, if we want to get rid of the patriarchy, which we do. But yeah,
We do.
Yeah. The queen is data is a
I'm
really
all over
high-ranking royal.
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, agreed. I just really think we can improve the city life. We can improve our quality of life of people if we stop having car traffic on Government Street. And especially the huge, like, 2-ton vehicles, semi-trucks that are going on that street to get to the construction zone. They need to be on Douglas and Blanchard Street.
Yeah.
Like, that's a no-brainer. Someone was killed last year on Government Street or a few years ago, and they never did anything about it. They never said, oh, we should stop these trucks from being on this street, get them away from cyclists, but nothing happened. It was shocking.
I'm really wary of the hype I hear in my network and being who I am about knowing what's going on around the world. But I've heard a lot of hype from Victoria. Oh yeah, this is happening, and Vancouver as well. Blah 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 blah. I mean, I'm standing here kind of like, okay, that was kind of cool. Oh, that's kind of cool. But like, oh my God, like there's no network and there's not a lot of serious work being done. So I actually, despite it all, have some positive points about Victoria, which I don't often have in cities because I'm this impatient idealist who just wants things to change fast. But it's kind of cool. But still, it's over. I mean, the hype is, is really hyped here.
It is hyped, but I think that's because we're so deprived, right, as cyclists, and we've had to beg to have every little inch of space. And now that we've been given protection, it's in my view, because I've cycled all over the Netherlands, I know it can be better, but honestly, this is something. right? It is keeping us protected from traffic, and we need to keep doing that. And the more we do that, and the more we start connecting, someone without a helmet, you know, the better it's going to become.
Yeah.
And then people are going to start to understand that this is a great way to get around the city. It's not driving a car. That is not the best way to get around the city.
No.
At all. And this city is catering to traffic, and we have to stop doing that.
When we drove in today, me and my kids, we have a car because we're driving all over the coast here, and when we drove in, it was like 12:30 in the afternoon, and my son said, "Oh, there's fucking too many cars." My kids swear, and I'm going. I was also surprised. We're stuck in traffic at 12:30 in the afternoon in a city of like 360,000 people. That right there is insane.
Yeah.
This city, as historic as it is in the Canadian context, man, I mean, you know, the entire city center should be just
packed full of people. Walking, riding.
Yeah.
Pedestrians, cyclists, people rolling.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's got cars everywhere, and it's loud, and it's smelly. You know, you can't, you know, going to a pub, you have a car like a meter away from you.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, I really think we need to change this.
Yeah.
This is not how a society should be.
And it's a city of this size, with the kind of the lifestyle brand that they wish they had, which they try to promote.
The happiest city in Canada is what we're
Happiest city
going
in Canada,
for.
and I mean, fine. I mean, the potential's here.
It totally
My God,
is.
it could be
Yeah.
absolutely.
It could be amazing.
It could be a mini Dutch Danish city
Absolutely.
in the course of 5 years if there was political will.
That's
right.
right.
Yeah. Because we know how to do shit, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not like we're not reinventing the wheel.
No,
No.
we don't need to do that. And we need to put in some more bullards and just make it, do a Calgary, just overnight change shit. That's what we just need to do it.
This place would be famous if they did that. My God.
I know.
Yeah. Well, are you optimistic? Bicycle mayor who's kind of like got pushback and stuff. I mean, are you optimistic for where Victoria is going, or you know, how do you feel?
I'm optimistic, yes, but it's gonna take too long. It's just really taking too long. I'm happy for the infrastructure, as I said. I'm happy to ride in it, and I go out of my way to get into it. But it's taking too long, and I think we can do better. We need to get the province to divert more money away from car traffic and into cycling traffic. You know, everybody's freaking out that there's a climate emergency, and yet they're not doing anything to remove car traffic.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that is the biggest problem, is all of these cars. I could be wrong, so forgive me if my stats are wrong, but I think 65% of the people who drive or who work in the city center have 3 to 5 kilometers.
Get out, really?
To get to work, and they are in their cars. Like,
5 kilometers? My God.
Right? It's a half an hour walk.
Yeah.
You know, I see no excuse, and they say, oh, well, I have kids and I have this, and those are excuses.
Yeah.
Like, they're just lazy.
Yeah.
Lots of laziness, and we need to improve the infrastructure to get those who are curious but afraid out of the car onto the street, and then those who continually want to drive, they can do that. We're not telling them to stop, and it'll make more space for them. So I'd like people to just start thinking a little bit about what that means, instead of just freaking out that, oh, if we put in another bike lane, I can't drive my car. Well, actually, if we put in another bike lane, other people will get out of their car so that you can continue to drive, and then you'll have more space. It's just the natural way.
There's enough cities that are doing it now to show that it's not some wacky theory, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not making stuff up.
No, neither am I. I try not to. But yeah. Susan, thanks so much for your time.
Thank
High five.
you, Michael.
Boom.
High five. It's
All right.
been great chatting with you.
Absolutely. Cool.